Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to the Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes, the case of the Serrated Scalpel. Where last time we were gathering a few clues. We didn't make a huge amount of progress, but we did determine that there's a connection between the victim, Sarah Carroway, and someone from the Kensington Rugby Club who wears a copious amount of oil in his hair. But we need to figure out what his name is. So we're currently at the morgue. We've had a look at Sarah Carroway's personal effects. We're going to need to take some of those at some point. But I suspect we're going to have to do that in a rather underhanded fashion at some point. But for now, let's have a chat with Inspector Gregson over here. Oh, it's you, Holmes. Hello, Inspector. Yes, Holmes? What can I do for you? Inspector, could you authorise the release of some of the items from the Sarah Carroway case? The Carroway case? Who's investigating that one, Holmes? Inspector Lestrade was doing some of the preliminary work. Oh, you mean the new Ripper case? Lestrade always gets the glamour assignments. I get whatever falls off his plate. I'm here on a simple suicide. 3 witnesses saw this woman leap off London Bridge a week ago. Clearly a suicide. I'm just tying up the loose ends. Excuse me, Inspector, concerning those Carroway items? Oh yes, sorry. I'm afraid I won't be able to help you, Mr. Holmes. Only Lestrade can release that evidence. I left him an hour ago at the yard. You might still find him there. I must warn you, though, that security procedures have tightened up some. Tell them I sent you and you should have no trouble. Alright, well, let's do that. Unlocking a new location is always a good sign, so let us head over to Scotland Yard. An apparently blind vendor. An apparently blind vendor. Hello, Augie, in the pink and so on. Indeed, Mr. Holmes. Lovely spot of autumn weather we're having. Missing some context here, clearly. Augie the apple seller has worked this stall for more than a decade. He is a bottomless, though expensive source of confidential information concerning police business. The constabulary tolerates his presence because he is not above playing both sides of the street. Many times the police have nabbed their man because of one of Augie's tips. Alright, fair enough. Good day, Constable. I must speak with Inspector Lestrade. Sorry, sir. What with all the recent troubles, we've had to restrict access to the building. Authorised personnel only, I'm afraid. But this is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the famous consultant detective. That's nothing to me, sir. No exceptions. Please move on. Ah, yes. Inspector Gregson informed us of recent changes in security procedures, but I assure you, Constable, he has given us permission to enter. That's as may be, sir, but it takes me order from Chief Inspector Palmer himself, even. Excuse me. And they are that no one is to pass without proper authorization. You understand, sir? Hello, Augie, in the pink and so on. Hello, Augie. My compliments to you. Very kind, Mr. Holmes. Nice to hear from you and Dr. Watson again. Is there perhaps something I can help you with? I need to speak to Inspector Lestrade. The constable won't allow me access to the building. Ah, real sticklers for regulations the yard boys are, Mr. Holmes. Sorry, I can't help you with that one. Bloody hell. Back to the morgue. Oh, it's you, Holmes. I regret to inform you, Inspector, that your name alone is insufficient for purposes of circumventing the yard's security procedures. What? And of all the incompetent... Come along, Holmes, we'll get this sorted immediately. Well, come along, Mr. Holmes. You too, Dr. Watson. I need some papers from the yard anyway. We'll get you in to see Lestrade and then I'll return here. My accent's changing, but don't don't pay too much attention to that. It's alright. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, Holmes. This should only take a moment, Holmes. What seems to be the problem here, Constable? No problem, sir. Truth is, it's been pretty quiet. Quiet, eh? If you'd like to keep it that way, Constable, then I suggest you allow Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson to enter immediately. But, sir, my orders are... I'm well aware of your orders, Constable. Allow them entrance on my authority. I'll assume responsibility for Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. Very well, sir. Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, you may consider yourself authorised personnel. You may enter whenever you wish. Much obliged, Constable. Thank you, Inspector. Think nothing of it, Holmes. We live to serve. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some matters to attend to. Good day, Sergeant Duncan. I wish to speak to Inspector Lestrade. So we're after lads in Dartmoor prison, Mr. Holmes. He's terrible busy at the moment, what with all this ripper business. He left word not to be disturbed. Perhaps I can take a message. I need to speak with him myself. I dare not disturb him, Mr. Holmes. He left orders, special like. The Inspector is hip-deep in paperwork, the never-ending scourge of a policeman's duty. He is oblivious to everyone else around him. You can't reach him from here. Police procedure is not all excitement in bringing criminals to the bar of justice. The constables in the bullpen plod along unrecognised and unappreciated, keeping the important records in the Metropolitan Police up to date. Well, Watson, we could stand here waiting for our hair to turn grey before the Inspector gets a free moment. Do you have a suggestion? Didn't I notice your friend the apple seller just outside? He knows the Byzantine workings of the yard like the back of his hand. Or so you've told me. Good old Watson. The real brains behind the outfit. Hello, Augie. I need your advice on a matter concerning Scotland Yard. Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, what can I do for you? I can't get Sergeant Duncan to fetch Lestrade for me. Do you have a suggestion? I just might be able to help if the price were right. I'm not in the habit of paying your exorbitant prices, Augie. Well, we seem to be at an impasse. What do you say, Watson? Shall I grass on Augie? Why not, Holmes? Augie, tell me about Sergeant Duncan or I'll expose your little game to the police. Whatever are you on about, Mr. Holmes? You're not blind, Augie. You're shamming for sympathy. Does marvels for your business, I shouldn't wonder. I've seen the way your eyes move behind your glasses, and the way you arrange your apples on the cart, unblemished side out, requires sight. You never feel for the size of a coin or bite it to test its metal. You hawk your wares more loudly than when a well-dressed couple walks past, and not at all when a beggar rambles by. I've seen you accurately box the ears of a stealthy street urchin trying to steal an apple, and just a moment ago you addressed a greeting to Dr. Watson. There's no way you could have known he was here. Enough, Mr. Holmes. Let's just keep this among ourselves, shall we? Live and let live, eh? I'll tell you this about Duncan. The way that brute's art is through a compliment. The man is a fool for flattery. Susceptible as a child to a kind word he is. Thank you, Augie. Good day, Sergeant Duncan. Is the Inspector available? He's still drowning in the paperwork, Mr. Holmes. You could leave a message if you wish. Thank you. I'm sure an officer as distinguished as yourself, and a winner of the VC on top of it, knows when to supersede such an order on his own authority. Perhaps I could get him down here for just a moment. Inspector Lestrade, please report at the duty officer's desk immediately. What is it, Duncan? This had better be important. It is, Inspector. Here's Miss Strames to see you. Take your time, Holmes. Hello, Inspector. I'm glad we found you in. I would like you to release some items from the Carroway murder investigation. What do you mean by some items? I would like to examine some of Sarah Carroway's personal effects which you sent to the morgue. If you don't mind, I'll take some of them to further my own investigation. Sarah Carroway? Oh, you mean the Ripper's latest victim. That's an open and shut case as far as I'm concerned, but I know your methods by now, and I'm sure you won't be satisfied until you've beaten this case into the ground. Sergeant Duncan will write you a pass that you can give to the medical examiner at the morgue. If he's finished with the woman's effects, they're yours. Perfect. Thank you, Inspector. Inspector Lestrade has authorised my request to examine the Carroway woman's effects at the morgue. May I have a pass, please? I heard him, Mr. Ames. I have it right here. Wonderful. Right, back to the morgue. Again. Right. Give the pass to the coroner. Here is authorization from Inspector Lestrade allowing me to use some of the items from the Carroway investigation. Very good, Mr. Holmes. Picked up a large key. I need to keep that item for further examination, Mr. Holmes. You are welcome to it when I have finished. I need to, you know. Okay, well, just a key then. That's fine. I'm not quite finished with some of these items, Mr. Holmes, so I need to keep them here for a while. You may view them again whenever you like. Right, time to go back into theatre, I think. Right, so that key should get us in there, I reckon. Certainly looks like it. There we go. Huh? What? Who's there? Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. What can I do for you? Don't mind me, sir. Just rummaging in the drawers. Okay, what have we got in here then? Look at the contents of the top drawer. The contents are mostly uninteresting. Facial makeup, tins, and some old theatre playbills. Of special interest are a pair of opera tickets. Look, Watson, a pair of season tickets to the opera. It would seem that Miss Carroway's interest in the arts extended beyond the confines of theatre. Very commendable. I say, Holmes, even though opera tickets are almost impossible to obtain at any price, I shouldn't like to have the seats of this poor dead woman. I understand your reluctance, Watson, but these tickets might very well provide the lead we need to further our investigation. Excuse me, Mr. Carruthers, do you know anything about these opera tickets? Unless I miss my guess, Mr. Holmes, those are tickets for the Chancery Opera House. Sarah never missed an opportunity to hear her sister sing. You mean Miss Carroway's sister is here in London? Just so, Doctor. She sings all the leading female roles. Very good, I'm told. I would have thought you knew that about her. It is sufficient that we know now, thank you, Mr. Carruthers. May we take these tickets? Of course, Mr. Holmes. I shouldn't think Inspector Lestrade has any use for them. He never even asked me about Anna. There's little of interest here. Some writing paraphernalia and some yellowing miscellaneous pages from long, mercifully forgotten scripts. Alright, well, that seems... I bet we can... Because we didn't see the number on the shirt at Sarah's place, did we? So I bet... If it's a rugby shirt, it should have the number on the back. Surely. Let's try... Move! This cannot be moved. Open! Pick up! Use... No. A man's rugby sweater with the colours and insignia of the Kensington Rugby Club. The back of the collar is heavily stained with macassar oil and a few black hairs are embedded in the fibres of the wool. Is there anything else we can do with that? Just turn it over and look at the back. No, I guess not. Alright. To the opera. I beg your pardon, what show is playing this evening? It's called From On High. Mr. Epstein says it's the most popular show this season. All the critics love it. Good evening, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Scotland Yard in a sensitive investigation. May I have a moment of your time? Certainly, Mr. Holmes. I'm Frederick Epstein, General Manager of the Chancery Opera House. Have you ever met Miss Sarah Carroway? She is the sister of Anna Carroway. Yes, I met her once, about a year ago, and I've seen her here a few times since then. We are not well acquainted. I believe Anna gave her a season's pass to one of our best box seats, but I haven't seen her today. Where might I find Miss Anna Carroway? Regrettably, she's bedridden with a sore throat this evening. Her understudy will perform competently enough, but I'll be happier when the divine Anna returns. Do you know where Miss Anna lives? Actually, I don't yet. She has recently moved, and I've not given myself the pleasure of leaving my card at her new home. She informed me of her illness by telegram. It will be difficult to visit her at home, I think, if you don't know her address. Indeed. I'm sure she will offer that information at her earliest convenience. May we see her dressing room? I'm afraid that's out of the question. Visitors and guests are not permitted access to the performer's private rooms. No, thank you. Okay. Box seats. Very good, sirs. Please show them to the balcony usher and he'll direct you to your places. Ah, your seats are right up these stairs. You can't miss them. Excuse me, gentlemen, but you must have the wrong box. These seats are occupied. The usher downstairs can direct you to your places. I am afraid you are incorrect, lady. These are Sarah Carroway's tickets. How did you come by them, if I may ask? You do Miss Carroway, then? Knew her. I'm Mrs. Worthington, and I own the Chancery Opera House. As I share this box with Sarah, I know her, of course. And who might you be? This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, and I am Dr. John Watson. Mrs. Worthington, I'm sorry to inform you that Sarah Carroway is dead. We are assisting the police in an official investigation. Oh, how dreadful! Such a lovely girl! Was there an accident, was? Please compose yourself, madame. There was no accident, she... Investigating her death? You don't mean to say that she was murdered? I'm afraid that is true. Is there anything you can tell me about Sarah? She was a pleasant young woman, though we only shared small talk. It is sad how little any of us knows about those around us, and now she's gone. She liked nothing better than to see her sister sing. They were very close. In fact, Anna recently gave her a pendant, and Sarah cherished it so. She told me that she never took it off. A large pendant with a heavy chain? Yes, you've seen it then. The way the bird was etched into the ivory oval was simply beautiful. It was a bit grand for every day, so she wore it under her blouse. When Sarah got it, she brought it out to show me. She said James, her young man, loathed it, but she didn't care for his opinion in this matter. That's a name! We need to speak with Anna Carroway. Do you know where she lives? No, I love her voice, but I know nothing of her personal life. Perhaps Mr. Epstein, our manager, can help you. We need to see inside Anna Carroway's dressing room. Would you be so kind as to secure Mr. Epstein's consent to inspect those premises? Of course. Here, I'll write you a note to give to him. Have you... Excellent. Is there anything you can think of that might help us in our investigation? I can't think of anything, but if I do, I will inform the police. I hope you find whoever did this awful thing and bring them to justice. Now please excuse me. Life goes on and the show is starting. Welcome to our presentation of From On High. Regrettably, our female lead, the divine Miss Anna Carroway, is ill. Miss Angela Ferrati will be singing in her stead. Please join me in wishing Miss Carroway a speedy recovery. We hope that you will enjoy the show. Oh, how unfortunate for Anna. Miss Ferrati, however, is a fine singer in her own right. I hired her myself. She will not disappoint. Singing noises. Opera gesticulating. It's not quite the Final Fantasy VI opera scene, is it? He's back. This is where this cutscene goes on for the length of a real opera. Am I supposed to be doing something? Yes. Right, have this note and suck it, Mr. Epstein. I see. You succeeded with Mrs. Worthington where you failed with me. Very well. You may view Anna's dressing room, but I insist that you disturb nothing. Her personal property and that belonging to the opera company are off limits to you. Understood? I'll remind you once again that you are to touch nothing. I'll be watching you closely. Alright. A common iron coat rack holds an elegant and stylish silk hat and a pink feather boa made of dyed ostrich plumes. Likenesses in cameo, silhouette and oil of the great operatic composers line the walls. Mozart, Verdi and Puccini are all represented. There are no personal photographs or pictures in evidence. An inexpensive Florentine-style red leather chest with a hinged lid. Mr. Epstein is watching your examination very closely. The vanity is covered with various bottles and small opaque jars of theatrical rouges, powders, paints, unguents, and beauty aids. A nickel-plated hand mirror decorated with metal wreaths and baby's breath. Its poor condition suggests that it is not someone's personal property. It is a charming cherrywood music box made by Hermann Bennett of Salzburg. It is cleverly constructed out of a single piece of wood. The top announces that it plays Eine kleine Nachtmusik. The vanity has 3 drawers. Mr. Epstein is watching your examination of them very closely. Watson! Watson, old bean! Do you see anything of interest to this case, Watson? Nothing I consider relevant, Holmes. Don't you find it strange that Miss Carroway informed you by telegram that she was sick without telling you her new address? How are you expected to reach her if necessary? I hardly see that Miss Carroway's address is any of your concern. Please confine yourself to the dressing room so that I can be done with it. I'm ignoring my important duties for the sake of this foolish errand. Mr. Epstein, it is essential that I be allowed to thoroughly inspect Miss Carroway's effects. If necessary, I may need to take certain of her things away with me. I repeat, Mr. Holmes, that you may examine Anna's dressing room with your eyes only. You have neither the right nor the authority to touch anything belonging to her or the opera company. If you disturb anything, I will have to escort you from the building. Cloaks, coats, formal gowns, day dresses, chambermaids' costumes and a host of evening apparel are crammed randomly into this capacious closet. You may look, fill your eyes, or take a photograph if you like, but you may not touch anything. Watson, old bean. No, not going to distract him. Surely there must be some means of distracting him. Women's shoes of every size, colour and description are piled to... overflowing on this wooden rack. The excess pairs spill into a neighbouring paper box and onto the closet floor. You may look, fill your eyes, blah, 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 blah. Fine. Clearly, we need to get him out of the way. But I guess we're going to have to do it via some other means. You won't be able to examine that room properly with the manager inspecting your every room. I can distract him if you wish. Next time we go in there, just give me some kind of sign and I'll take it from there. Okay, fair enough. Maybe visit Anna Carroway's dressing room again. All right, if you must, please follow me. Watson, old bean. Can you determine whether the dresses in that closet are Miss Anna's personal property, or do they belong to the opera company? What's all this then? I shall do so now, Holmes, if Mr. Epstein will assist me. All too easy. The box is filled with all manner of inexpensive costume jewellery. Nothing of interest here. Alright, close that up then. Dr. Watson and Mr. Epstein are returning. It appears that the opera company owns them all, Holmes. No luck, I'm afraid. Watson, it is vital that we know if she keeps a pair of red sequin slippers with yellow roses on the toes. I've never seen her wearing any slippers of such description. They would likely be somewhere in this cavernous closet. Perhaps you would assist me, Mr. Epstein. Very well. Anything to conclude this business more quickly. Alright, steals the stuff. Okay. We can find no such slippers, Holmes. Do you recall that piece of dried straw that we found, Watson? It was suggestive of a particular type of wide-brimmed hat woven in Panama. Ah, yes, I remember. Mr. Epstein, would you show me where Miss Carroway keeps her millinery collection? Back here in the closet, of course. A supply of clean white soft flannel cloths are folded neatly in one corner. These are useful for removing grease paint and theatrical makeup. A large quantity of cotton wool, several coloured pencils, a small pot of glue, and a modest collection of what appears to be sets of eyelashes occupy the remaining space. The drawer contains only a small ring of keys. Well, that seems like something I might want. Thank you very much. A larger assortment of silk stockings and linen undergarments than would seem absolutely necessary for the comfort of a professional singer of modest means nearly overflow of the drawer. Alright, what about this music box? Dr. Watson and Mr. Epstein are returning. All of our hats are made of felt or taffeta, Holmes. There's nothing that came from further away than an East End sweatshop. Several keys of various sizes adorn this ring. Okay. I guess that's probably what we need. So, I think that's probably a good place to leave it for now. So, we will just save it. I'm at the opera. And we will pick this up in the next episode. So it just remains for me to say, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.